How would you describe our generation? You know, when somebody would ask me, Alkan, how would you define our generation? I would say, shut the fuck up. We're not supposed to talk in the cinema. It's rude. And then after the movie, I would answer and say, we are the generation of options, I think. Because we are always about the next opportunity, the next option, the next chance. We often don't settle in with something and let it evolve or develop. And the internet is providing the chances, of course, but it's also manifested in our culture. The next thing, the next change. And you can see that everywhere in our society. Jobs. You stick with your job for 2-3 years, not longer. Sometimes it might evolve into something better, but we don't give it a chance. We have the recruiter calling us. You have a new job. Within the first week, the recruiter's calling you, new chance, new opportunity. I don't say it's bad or good, but, that's how we are. And it's the same when it comes to dating. We often don't give something a chance to evolve or to develop because we have options. We are always one swipe away from the next opportunity, one drink away from the next chance, the next contact. So we don't give it time. And I'm the same. I remember cases where I had a date and it was like it was maybe a very, very good date. And on my way home, I was already looking for the next opportunity, the next swipe. And that's fucked up because you don't go home and think about the date and have something evolve in your head and maybe wake up the next day and think about the date. But no, because you already erased those opportunities, you filled it with the next opportunity, the next chance. I even had back-to-back and back dates, and I think that's fucked up. I just talked with a friend about this. He had the same, and we agree that with the multiple opportunities in the short time frame, we actually made sure that we have no actual opportunity, because there is no opportunity which can evolve into something deeper. And when it comes to entertainment or music, I'm always interested to look into music. How will we see ourselves in 20 years? Like when we now look back, 70s disco, 80s and the 80s wave, 90s pop and hip hop R&B. And this is a generation, or we are in the time of electro music. It's all about you go on 5 parties, 4 of them are and that's the generation we are living in. It's electro music. And many people, they don't know this, but it's pretty interesting to read how electro music actually has been founded, has been created. It was in Europe, and by a committee, a federation of, and the federation was called White People Can't Dance. Mainly males, mainly male members. And they got together and they tried to come up with a music genre, a music style where they don't look like shit anymore. That was the goal. To come up with a music style to not look like an idiot on the dance floor anymore. So they went through all tunes, all different music styles, and they came up with the idea of eliminating all the the instruments or the rhythm and just have like a plain just the house music, you know it. And was the very beginning. And especially the founding fathers, Paul, Steve, and Robert, were working very hard on it. Especially Steve. He was just on the last weekend he just went on a party where he tried to dance on a PDD, Bad Boys for Life, and he broke his arm on 5 parts. So they were very invested in it, and they came up with a tune. It's like Robert was dancing for them, and they were looking at how much of an asshole he's looking like, and he was like, so it was pretty good, but he didn't know what to do with his hands, So one guy said, I think it was Paul or somebody else, he said, you should just hold a drink with the left hand. So he was just holding a drink. So it was like, but his right hand was still an idiot. No rhythm. He didn't know what to do with it. So the other guy said, you should just, maybe you should just point to the air. Like, it makes no sense. Everybody agreed it makes no sense, but you should just do it. So he's just pointing to the air, and you have to point with one finger. So you have to do this, and you have to hold the drink on your left. So it's like, and that's how it has been created. House music. One guy said, like, I would do that at home, and the other said, yeah, let's call it also house music, house electro music. And that's what you see on the dance floors. And now when you try to do more than this, you actually look like an idiot. So it was just a genius move of them. So it's very remarkable, and that's our generation, and it's amazing. I hope you liked the leader which just played. The song, the tune. I paid 35 euros for that song. So let's play it again. Did you know that there are some people, when they come home, they don't take their pants off? They just chill with their street pants or work pants or jeans, and that they just chill like that at home, lay on the couch in bed, and then just change when they are about to go to sleep. And I think that's bullshit. I think you should never do that. Please take your pants off. And tell that to everybody who doesn't know how to chill at home. I had a roommate like that. She was always at home with her jeans. I really got along with her, but then I started not to trust her anymore. How can you trust a person who don't know how to relax? Is she like an undercover something, or does she know that we are being filmed and she doesn't want to look ridiculous with her cozy pants? So I don't trust that shit. When you're home, you're home. In the beginning, I always thought like she might go on a date or she's about to go somewhere, but she never went. She just stayed home and just wore her jeans, even in bed. Super uncomfortable. How can we improve as human beings when we don't even know how to calm down and be comfortable? How can we fight global warming when we chill with jeans at home. So just a short message. Please, when you know somebody, remind them. And yeah, it's mid-September. What's going on? It is, we just passed a heavy heat wave. It got warm again now for a few days. It's actually super warm here. I'm sweating. The AC in this professional studio is not working at the moment. People are working behind the scenes on it at the right now, somewhere there. Heavy heat wave. That was hot. That was damn warm. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed a lot of time at lakes. There are like beautiful lakes in Amsterdam and around Amsterdam. But it was suffering in the evening, suffering in the night. For me personally, when I'm just sitting on a couch and I ask myself, do I have is my butt sweating? Then I know it's probably too warm. When you have to ask yourself that question, and when you're worried about that, then it's too warm. For me, it's a clear sign. But we went through it. It was a good time, and everybody was enjoying it. The lakes were full. Everybody was having a good time in parks, and I talked about it in the first one. Like when it comes to the pandemic in Amsterdam, we are ready to die. We are still ready to die. We go face first in the pandemic. No masks on, no protections. It's quite ridiculous when you compare it to other cities, when you have been to other cities during this time. It's like we were a little bit careful, just a little bit, and now even that is gone, it feels like. Like we had like a semi-lockdown where we stayed at home, but we watched all of Netflix, and now old people need to die. That's evil shit. That's awful. But old people, when you want to survive, you might get us Amazon Prime or HBO Plus or Go, whatever it's called, and you might survive longer. But it's super evil, or it's careless how we are. Go in a supermarket, still the same, even more careless at the moment. Nobody here knows what 1.5 meters are. That's not 1.5 meters. When that's 1.5 meters, then my dick is 35 centimeters. And it's not, not even on a good day. Yeah, we are ready to die. So when you want to see the pandemic being over, come to Amsterdam. I even expected the World Health Organization to announce when they have the press conferences that they will say in the end, but the pandemic is over in Amsterdam. So when you want to live a pandemic-free life, come to Amsterdam. No mask. We will possibly make out with you immediately. The roommate I was talking about, the girl who never took off her jeans at home. She visited me in Amsterdam, and it was super nice. She has a daughter of 2 years old, and that was a lovely time to spend with them. It's always nice when you can go on a playground and have an actual reason to be there, and you don't need to be afraid that somebody will call the cops, and you don't have to act like this kid belongs to me. I never liked that. So it was a super nice time and very comfortable time on the playground, and this baby is like, you often say like sweet things about babies when you see them because they're from your friend or from your family, but this one is like objectively like high category sweetness. Like she's like super premium sweet little girl. Like the rest of the children in the playground even like noticed, I think, that we have the high class baby. They even made like they made space for her. They opened up the whole the slide. Like everybody went away from the slide. It was just her slide, and it was all clear because the sweetest person can be on the slide. That was a really nice time. And then when you reflect on this, we were studying together. A very good friend of mine, she made this. She created this amazing human being in the last couple of years, and that's what she succeeded, or what she made, what she created in life. And then you reflect on life, and then I see what I have done in that time, and it's mostly diarrhea and mixed with something else. It's what did I do? I would like to end this with an actual story, something which actually happened. So the week before, I arrived at the place where I used to put my bike, and it's a very busy place. There are a lot of bikes, there are restaurants, there are bars. I was just locking my bike, so I had to kneel down. And on my right side, I noticed there's a person standing, a girl standing, looking towards me. Her body language totally towards me. And you sense it when somebody usually approaches you or talks to you. Which doesn't happen when it comes to the flirting aspect. It doesn't happen often in Amsterdam, because we are not very a flirty city. We don't know here what really charm is often. But I felt it that she is about to approach me. She was standing like 2 meters from my right. And then I started to look at her. And I saw like it was a little bit of a windy day. And she had like a red dress on, some yellow sparks or something. And it was just waving in the wind. And her hair was waving as well. Long, very beautiful blonde hair. And I looked at her and I saw her beautiful blue eyes. And then she said something where I thought at that time, this might be the best pickup line or the best charming approach I have ever heard. And what is the best, in my opinion, or what doesn't need to have? It needs to be simple or short. It needs to be playful. It needs to be charming, sexy. And it needs to be confusing. Also confusing, because that just makes sure you will get a reply even more, because when you don't send just 100% the same signal, when the person has a little bit of confusion, it's more likely that you get a reply or you catch that tension. So, shut the fuck up, Alkan. What did she say? I will tell you. Waving hair. The dress is waving in the wind. I stand up, look at her. She looks at me and she says, "Hey, is that your candy?" And I was like, damn, like, how can she see the candy like under my jacket? And then I was like, wow, this is like, and I felt everything. It felt playful, sexy, confusing, and it was simple at the same time, or short. And in my head, I thought this is like a high class flirting move. Like, this is top notch. I need to keep up my game. I knew she's like up there. So in my head, I was already calculating the best possible replies. And I came up with the best reply in my head during the calculation. My reply was about to be, yeah, do you want to have some diabetes? And I had that ready to go. But I think I thought too much, because she, again, said, is that your candy? But this time she pointed to the left. And on the left from her, there was a bag. So I went towards the bag, and there were 5 packages of candy. So I knew it's actual candy we're talking about. It's not my candy, it's candy in the bag. So this story took a turn, because now it turned from having a flirt to, whose candy is this? And I looked up and I saw, first of all, the candy. The candy was very specific. It had Asian writing, most likely Korean or Japanese. And it looked like you cannot get it from a shop in Amsterdam, or it needs to be a very special shop. So it was this, I think the value of the candy was also pretty high. So it was like precious candy you don't want to just lay on the ground on a random street. So it would have been unfortunate when the people who got that candy, or the candy belongs to, that they don't have the candy anymore. So I looked up and I saw further away in a restaurant, like 30 meters or something, outside, there was an Asian couple sitting. And so I started the investigation at that moment. And of course, the best start to an investigation is with a really good question in the beginning. So I asked that girl, do you think it's theirs? Surprisingly, she said, I don't know. At the same time, she looked at me like, with a facial expression like, are you an idiot? And are you a little bit racist? And I thought about that as well. Like, how racist would it be to give actual Asian candy to an Asian couple, assuming it's their Asian candy? Is that racist? Yes or no? And this is something I was thinking for the next few minutes. The girl, like, her friend was calling her like, hey, Laura. And then they did some Instagram pictures on bridges. And I was there with the candy, continuing the investigation. And then I asked myself, would I feel offended when I would sit in a restaurant and somebody would come to me and say, hey, is this your doner kebab? I don't know. But I think I would be offended. But at the same time, I would say, yes, motherfucker, that's my doner. But I would be offended as well. Because, when you're offended, it's always better to have a kebab than to not have a kebab. So that's me. I don't know about you. So what I did is, I think I did the smartest thing. What I did is I took the candy, I took out one package, and I went to that restaurant, but I didn't ask the Asian couple directly. I was standing in front of the crowd who were like eating outside, but I knew that the Asians are there and they are my main target. So I asked the crowd, is this somebody's candy? And, the Asian couple said, yes, that's my candy. And, yeah, that's it. And then they had their candy. You standing outside? You go inside, you hear, not much different than outside.